All right, let's dive right into this explainer and cut through the noisy billion-dollar weight loss industry. We're going to uncover the immutable first principle science of how our bodies actually manage weight. Because look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the endless sea of fad diets out there, from paleo to keto to those wild 10-day wonder cleanses, you are definitely not alone. But today, we're stripping all of that away. We're looking directly at the biological math. No gimmicks, no magic pills, just pure, grounded science.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're covering the calorie bank account, BMR and the thermic effect, decoding the satiety index, the actual truth about macros, and finally, movement, stress, and success.
So let's jump into part 1, the calorie bank account and understanding energy balance.
To kick things off, there's a brilliantly simple analogy that perfectly explains the core biology of weight loss, completely zeroing out all that fad diet confusion. Our bodies operate exactly like a financial bank account. Think about a regular bank account. Money gets deposited, money gets spent, and your balance changes based on that exact simple math. Well, your body works on that exact same logic. Every single calorie you consume is simply a deposit of energy into your biological bank, and everything you do, from breathing to running a marathon, is a withdrawal. If your deposits exceed your withdrawals, your body just stores that excess energy for later, as fat. If you want to lose weight, your withdrawals simply have to be greater than your deposits. This is the foundational, practically unbreakable law of the calorie deficit.
Moving on to part 2, BMR and the thermic effect, or what I like to call the hidden withdrawals.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating is how much energy you spend just by, existing. Get this, an average person burns around 400 calories during 8 hours of sleep. Really think about that. You are burning hundreds of calories while literally lying completely paralyzed in bed, dreaming. Just to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and your cells repairing, your body is making massive withdrawals from your calorie bank. This baseline energy requirement is called your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, and it is the absolute powerhouse engine of your daily calorie burn.
And here is a crucial reason why you have to respect your BMR. Almost 20% of the entire human body's energy usage is consumed by the brain alone. 20%! If you try to cheat your biological system by jumping on some extreme starvation-level diet and dropping your calories severely below your BMR, your body literally goes into crisis mode. Your brain is essentially being starved of its fuel. This is exactly why those extreme deficits ruin your focus, absolutely destroy your mood, and wreck your hormones. It leads to intense irritability and inevitably, you guessed it, binge eating.
But wait, it gets better. Not only do you burn calories by living, but you also burn calories just by digesting the food you eat. We call this the thermic effect of food, or TEF. Digesting fats and oils, that requires very little energy. Carbs are somewhere in the middle. But take proteins, for example. Digesting proteins burns massive amounts of calories, up to 30% of the protein's own calories. That means if you eat 100 calories of pure protein, your body actually spends 30 calories just breaking it down, netting you only 70. It is literally an automatic, built-in withdrawal from your calorie bank. How cool is that?
All right, section 3, decoding the satiety index and hacking fullness.
So the real trick here is figuring out how to make deposits into our calorie bank that actually leave us feeling satisfied instead of starving. I mean, have you ever eaten an entire chocolate bar and then felt incredibly hungry again like 20 minutes later? That happens because not all calories are created equal when it comes to fullness. Enter the satiety index. Back in 1995, researchers fed people exact 240-calorie portions of 38 different foods to scientifically measure exactly how full they felt afterwards. This study beautifully explains why 240 calories of junk food leaves you absolutely ravenous, while 240 calories of whole foods leaves you completely stuffed.
And the undisputed heavyweight champion of that study? Boiled potatoes. They achieved a massive score of 323, making them the ultimate biological fullness hack. Alongside boiled potatoes, foods like high-fiber vegetables, pulses, low-fat dairy, and eggs score incredibly high on this index. By choosing these kinds of foods, you get the absolute most bang for your calorie buck. You stay full, you naturally eat less, and maintaining that calorie deficit becomes so much easier.
Section 4, the truth about macros, carbs, fats, and calorie deficits.
Let's tackle macronutrients for a second and directly unpack those massive low-carb and keto movements, because the science here is crystal clear. A massive 2017 meta-analysis of 32 controlled studies, along with a super robust 2012 Swedish study, found absolutely zero weight loss difference between high-carb and low-carb diets when protein and total calories were kept equal. Weight loss is entirely driven by a calorie deficit. Now, you might be thinking, actually, hold on, I lost 5 pounds my first week on keto. Well, biologically, when you cut carbs, you deplete your glycogen stores, which hold a ton of water. That initial drop, it's just you shedding water weight, not fat. Furthermore, a 6-year Lancet study tracking over 15,000 people found that extreme low-carb diets, especially those high in animal proteins, can actually reduce your overall lifespan.
Instead of pushing extremes, acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges show us what a scientifically balanced diet actually looks like. You absolutely need healthy carbs and good fats to function properly. Carbohydrates are your brain's primary fuel source. Fats are totally essential for absorbing vital vitamins like A, D, E, and K. And hey, your brain is physically made up of 60% fat. The science strongly points away from eliminating entire food groups and instead guides us right back toward a balanced, varied dietary profile.
So the secret really isn't cutting carbs, it's upgrading them. It's all about complex carbs versus refined carbs. Complex carbs, like whole grains, oats, and starchy vegetables, have high fiber. They absorb slowly, and they give you a nice, steady stream of energy. Think of them as high-yield, long-term deposits into your calorie bank. Refined carbs, on the other hand, like maida or refined flour, they've been totally stripped of nutrients. They digest almost instantly, violently spike your blood sugar, and then crash hard an hour later, sending you straight back to the fridge. You want to make high-quality deposits, right? Not volatile ones?
Finally, Section 5, Movement, Stress, and Success, taking a holistic approach.
Let's explore how lifestyle habits lock in your success. But first, we absolutely have to clear up a massive misconception. If you've been doing hundreds of crunches trying to lose belly fat or doing facial exercises to lose cheek fat, you need to know that spot reduction is completely, 100% biologically impossible. The science firmly debunks this. You simply cannot dictate where your body burns fat by exercising the muscles underneath it.
Your body, and your body alone, decides where fat is burned from, and your unique genetics dictate your personal fat loss pattern. Your only job is to create that overall calorie deficit. The best way to do that physically is through a holistic mix. A bit of cardio for stamina, stretching for flexibility, and strength training for your muscles. And please, don't underestimate the power of simply walking or cycling. That general, day-to-day movement acts as a constant, slow drip of withdrawals from your calorie bank that adds up incredibly rapidly over time.
Now, we have to talk about the silent killer of diets, stress. If you're sleeping poorly and stressing out constantly, your body releases high levels of a hormone called cortisol. Biologically, cortisol actively reduces your metabolism, dropping your BMR while simultaneously triggering these intense cravings for sugar and fats. If you aren't managing your stress and getting that solid 7 to 9 hours of sleep, your metabolic rate literally fights against you, and your body physically begs you to overeat. Stress reduction isn't just self-care, it is a fundamental biological prerequisite for weight management.
Okay, so how do we put all this science into action? Here's a powerful 30-day challenge based directly on the principles we've covered today. Just try to eliminate the 4 worst diet culprits. Number 1, maida, or refined flour. Number 2, added sugars. Number 3, trans fats found in deep-fried foods. And number 4, ultra-packaged foods. By removing these, you automatically eliminate the most calorie-dense, lowest satiety foods on the planet. Replace them with whole grains, proteins, and fresh vegetables, and I guarantee you'll experience an incredible surge in energy while effortlessly managing your calorie bank.
I'm going to leave you with this to reflect on. We've stripped away the noise today and looked at the pure science of energy balance, the thermic effect, macros, and satiety. The biological math of the calorie deficit is completely in your favor once you truly understand how to use it. So, armed with this knowledge, how are you going to balance your account starting today? What new deposits and withdrawals will you make to transform your next 30 days? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time as we continue to break down the science behind our world.